Okay, what we're going to do here is to have a short tutorial which demonstrates the use of the tilt shift blur to create an enhanced depth of field effect. Now, what I've done here is to fast forward just a little bit, and if you'll notice in Photoshop, I have created three separate copies of my individual image and put them in layers. One is the original image, the second one I call the background, and the final one I call just the bird. The second thing that I have done preliminarily is to select the bird here. And what I want to do is I'm going to first of all hide these layers here and then create a mask out of the bird. Now there are several other tutorials on how to do this, so I'm not going to go into detail on that, but I will now add a layer mask, and you can see we just have the bird here. Also notice that I haven't been very careful in selecting the area around the bird's feet here because all of that is going to be in perfect focus once we use the tilt shift blur effect. The other thing that I usually do when I create this mask is I'm going to do a refine mask here, and I can usually get away with using this smart radius function, and you can get as detailed as you want in doing this. And we'll go back to the full image. So now I just have the bird here in this layer. Now I'm going to hide that bird, and I'm going to go to the background here. And what we want to do is to remove the bird in the background. And the way I do this is to go back and reselect what I've selected before, and I'm going to then modify that selection to expand it. And it depends on the size of the image how far you want to expand it, but I'm going to do it 15 pixels, and you can see that grows that selection there around the bird. The reason I do this is because the next step is to do a content aware fill, and if I have done the exact selection of the bird, we get some sharp edges there. So doing the content aware fill, I go down here and select fill, making sure this is content aware. Oops, that went off screen. Let's try that again. I select fill, make sure that's content aware, press OK, and now you will see that the bird has been erased from that image. Now I'm going to deselect this just so we don't get the marching ants there. And if you want to get fancy on this, it's not going to be completely necessary, but you can do such things as use the cloning tool now to fix this up a bit so that you don't see quite those sharp edges up there, which I've done. Okay, so now we have the a good background, and if I click the layer, just the bird, we can see the bird pops back into the image, and we're going to then apply the tilt blur to this background only. So the way we do that is we go to the filters, go to blur, and we select the tilt shift blur. Okay, now what's important to know is that this center point here is the point that we want to keep into focus, and And then we have adjustments here, which adjust how far, what the amount of the blur is and how far the blur goes. I'm just playing with it here. We're going to adjust it more further later. But the point is that we want to take the point that's in perfect focus, and it should be right about where this bird's feet are. Now, the next thing that you'll notice is that the blur amount is only 15 pixels. And we probably want to do more of that. And as you can see, as we increase that, the background becomes more blurry, as does the foreground. Now, this looks kind of fake here, so we'll want to play with this just a little bit, and we'll play with it using these two sliders here. And actually, that maybe we'll add just a little bit more blur here. And again, this is up to the individual user. That foreground also is looking a little bit too much blurry. But then what we have is the background with increased blur, the foreground with increased blur, but the point of focus and the bird itself now should be in perfect focus. So once we're happy with that, we click OK, and Photoshop then applies that blur to the image. And this is what we get. Actually, that looks fairly good. Now, just to go back and show you what it looked like originally, what we're going to have to do is unclick both of these images. That's the original, and there is the fixed. So that's how you use the tilt shift blur in Photograph to enhance the depth of field effect. Enjoy.